What's up, traders? Matt from the Trade Brigade here doing a technical analysis on ticker symbol IMPL for Impel Neuropharma. On the left-hand side, we are looking at the daily time frame, and on the right-hand side, the 30-minute intraday time frame. Clearly a large gap up on Friday here, but fading off the entire day, closing the gap and some. What's notable here is that all of this was happening on a massive increase in volume, so let's dive into this a little bit further. Starting off, we're going to map out obvious areas of support and resistance from the daily perspective, then we'll jump down into the 30-minute and talk more nuance. Certainly just laying out a quick roadmap here, nothing too crazy yet, and those are sort of the levels that I am seeing from this daily perspective. Zooming in on the 30, you can certainly see many of those are relevant, a floor in place, prior resistance here at 1772, here was a high, and then sort of chopped around this 27 prior pivot high from the daily perspective, of course, right in there. So all things considered, the large gap up on Friday, it faded the entire day, right? So to me, we have to look at this through the lens of the Fibonacci, go from the high to the low of the first move. We never violated the 38.2 to the upside, so that would indicate that the sellers truly did have some strength here. It looks like people were running for the exit sign on the massive gap up. We'll next take a look at the following drive lower, so we'll go from this candle high all the way on down to the low of the day essentially, and never got back up into the 38.2 there, and then of course we'll remove that and do the entire day's range from high all the way on down to the low. And what's very interesting about this to me is that the 38.2 is coinciding nearly perfectly with 2356, as we know was prior structure from right in here. So moving forward, what are we going to look at and how can this potentially be traded? Well, if we consolidate in this area in here, as we know from the daily, that would simply be in here, I would just look for sideways chop. I mean, certainly there is some range in here. Maybe if you want to take a stab long, at the support portion down here, if we start printing a daily hammer, maybe an indecision doji, basically anything that would make you question, right? Is this pullback, is this sell-off starting to come to an end? Can we flip long over the highs and get back into some of these upper targets, which we'll map out on the 30 in just a moment? That would be the only sort of place I could see bottom fishing. I really wouldn't wait for this to come back down here. At that point in time, we would be making an equal low, right? And if this is going to be in an uptrend, right, doing something like this, making higher highs and higher lows, then you don't want it to make an equal low, obviously, right? So that's at 1226. Wouldn't be so interested in bottom fishing at that point in time, simply because the trend would be more sideways as opposed to upward as it is right now. So all things considered, if we do get the bounce off of 1772, what was that intermediate area of resistance I was seeing? Certainly this number right in here, noting where we topped out prior and then also found support in that following day before the massive gap up right around 21 the whole dollar. It's also, conveniently very close to about 50% of the range. I'm not going to say it's exactly 50%, but structural elements are way more important than just looking at percentages. So those are the numbers to watch. Those are the scenarios to watch. If we can take out that 2356, which as we know is the Fibonacci retracement from the entire day's range, the 38.2, then you're looking for this, right? And then once we get here, you start asking the question, is it time to trim some of the position? Should I cut it all? Do the buyers still look strong? And then you wait, of course, to see if they do look strong in that instance, to see if we can make it back up into that high of day there at 34.75. I'm not saying it has to go there. Obviously, there was a huge catalyst. There was multiple things, really, some price upgrades, namely, that sent it that high. But again, there would have to be something going on, a catalyst that would get it back up into that price area. Keep in mind, if volume drops off and starts doing something like this, back down towards non-existent, I would be very skeptical and probably look for more of a sideways outlook here inside of IMPL. So those are my thoughts. Those are the levels. If you enjoyed the video or learned anything new, let me know in the comments section or by giving the video a thumbs up. Don't forget our main channel is linked in the description. And all of that being said, I wish you a green trading week.